Welcome back to the Kane and Day Show. I'm your host, Kane. You can find me on Twitter at Killing Kane, and now streaming on YouTube at Killing Kane. So, we're back on that stream life. Come check out the streams. Been playing a lot of Call of Duty. But, yeah, do that. Kick it over to my co-host here, and we'll get underway.
Yeah, my name is Day. You can find me on Twitter, Realdaygaming1, and follow the show on Twitter, the Kane and Day Show.
Yeah, do it. We want to talk to you guys. And you know what can't happen if you don't follow the Twitters. Got him. All right, what are we talking about today?
Well, I mean, the awards were handed out, which most of them were not shocking.
Yep. If you guys didn't know, we're talking about baseball.
Yeah, today's baseball. Obviously, by the title, that is already on there.
True.
Yeah, all the awards were handed out. It was strung out throughout the whole week, which to me, just everyone knows who won the awards. Just kind of give them out, but that's just my opinion.
I have some controversy with one of them. I do, and that's Coach of the Year. I have my 2 cents.
I've been on here.
Yeah, it sure is.
It makes me scroll all the way back to the top. That's tedious.
Well,
Oh yeah, it is. That's second.
Yeah. All right.
Go both ways actually. But...
So, where do we want to start with these awards? Because let's be frank here. The NL Rookie of the War or NL Rookie of the Year could have went both ways. They could have went one of either way, but they were both on the same team, so it doesn't really matter in that perspective.
Both played really well.
Yeah. And Coach of the Year should have went to Scott Service. Just saying. Yeah, Terry Francona, they won the division, but the Mariners haven't been in the playoffs in the last 20 years, so...
Yeah, it's funny.
Bob's your fucking uncle there. But we'll get to that when we get there.
I disagree with Terry getting it, but I have a different person.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about that here in a minute. Where do we want to start, though? Where do we want to start?
I mean, you already, it was Michael Harris that won NL.
Yeah, so we'll start with the Rookies of the Year. So, with Rookie of the Year, I mean, it didn't really matter on the NL side who won it because it was going to the same team. It was either Spencer Strider.
Donovan deserved a little bit more love than he got from the Cardinals.
Okay.
Because he did have a good year. Just not what Michael Harris and Strider did. But I just think his name should have mentioned a little bit more.
I really thought that Spencer Strider had it locked down. Thought he had it locked down because he was so dominant for so long. But then looking at Michael Harris's stat line, because didn't he get called up after the All-Star break?
No.
Or it must have been slightly before then.
I think it was mid-June because they were in Boston.
Okay.
When they played Boston.
But, finishing with 19 home runs, 20 stolen bases, and a 4.4 WAR, it's crazy. You didn't debut until May 28th.
Strider or Harris?
It says, but despite not debuting with the Braves until May 18th, Harris beat out Spencer Strider, making them the 8th set of teammates to finish 1 and 2 in Rookie of the Year voting. But this kid did it all this year.
Yeah.
As soon as he stepped on the field, he was literally a no-fly zone. He got every ball hit to him. He robbed a couple home runs. And not to mention, dude had crazy pop. Mm-hmm. He was an all-around 5-tool player and deserved the award. He was fantastic. But not as fantastic as the other guy in the AL. My Rookie of the Year, Julio Rodriguez. No brainer. Brainer.
Adley got 1 vote. It's tough.
Pena probably got a couple votes too. Not a single, huh?
Julio got 29. Adley got 1.
That's crazy.
Stephen Kwan came in third.
What?
With 44 points.
Crazy. But
Stephen Kwan had a great year too.
He sure did, and we could probably divulge on those a little bit. But Julio just despite having the slow start he did and being out for a month. So you take 2 months out of the season, honestly, the dude ended with 28 home runs. How many stolen bases did he have? He had a lot.
I think it was around 25.
He joined Mike Trout as the only players in the AL/NL history with at least 25 home runs and 25 stolen bases with a point.
25 on the dot.
Yeah, and then 800 OPS in their rookie season. That's so crazy. Like, Julio was so good, and I think if you can get a for real hitting coach into Seattle, because the guy that they have out there right now, not great. When you get or when you go 18 innings without scoring a run in the playoffs, not a good sign. Get a new hitting coach.
Well, you're also facing an incredible pitching rotation that hit the Phillies in the World Series.
That's true. But also, the Mariners were not great at hitting the ball in this postseason. Yes, they came out with some wins, but they should have won Game 1 against the Astros, should have won Game 2 against the Astros, probably still lose Game 3, win Game 4. Bob's your uncle. Mariners are your 2022 World Series champions. Let's just put it that way.
There was a lot. Well, they still had to go to the Bronx.
That's true.
And then Philly.
But I just think if you can get a talented hitting coach in that actually has some effect on some players, that would make his next leap tremendous. I think if you can get a new hitting coach in that's going to actually teach your guys something, because I'm sure the guy who's their hitting coach right now, teaching them, helping them, but man, this is turning into a playoff caliber team, and you got to get a playoff caliber coaching system around these guys. And I just think that Julio's going to take a bigger step next year. And, the other guy who I thought was second place in the Rookie of the Year voting for the AL, at least, I thought it was going to be Jeremy Pena.
He didn't have that great of a regular season.
He had a decent enough one.
But
then he popped off in the fucking postseason, World Series MVP. But, Rookie of the Year, though, great choices.
Stephen Kwan, think about it. He had 62 walks, 60 strikeouts.
And not to mention how hot he was when he started.
Well, yeah, and it just continued the whole year. He hit what? 298?
Because he, set a record, right, of reaching base 28 times in a row.
It was a lot. Yeah. You just didn't get out. It was a good leadoff hitter for them.
Exactly, and I think this Cleveland team, looking in the future, they're super young, and you have a vet on your team and Jose Ramirez, who everybody respects on that team. I think this team is going to come together a lot sooner than people realize.
And the best second baseman in the league, statistically.
Oh yeah. I was like, what? No, it wasn't that other rookie.
Donovan does play second base, though. But
no, I'm talking about. I think he was one of the guys who got in a fight with the Yankees fans.
At Cleveland?
Yeah, something Miller. I don't know. He got a card early in MLB The Show. He was part of that first Player of the Month. Yeah, I know. But let's jump over to Manager of the Year quick. So, let's start with the National League, because we both have different opinions, apparently, on the AL side. How do we feel about Buck Showalter winning again?
He led his team to 101 wins. I don't care if they blew a 10.5 game lead. I don't care. They won 101 games.
Yeah.
But what cost them is they just didn't win the division series against the Braves. And that's what cost them a division.
Another person that could have won it probably would have been Dave Roberts, just because they won, 112?
Yeah.
So
these ads are killing me. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Dude, I'm on. Why don't you go to MLB.com?
because they still give me ads. But
Get ad blocker, you freaking dingus.
no, I think Oliver Marmol for the Cardinals deserved a little bit more for managing the team the way he did with that team he had.
Well, and what would you? My opinion would be, what about the guy who took over for Girardi? I mean, damn, he had him.
Thompson did have a good run too.
Yeah,
I still think I'm okay with Buck winning it.
Of course, because this Mets team has been down bad for the last couple of years at least, and Buck comes in and you know, not to mention their owner who's willing to. I mean, Steve Cohen just wants to throw money at every living thing. I mean, shit, if we could hit a ball decent, he'd probably throw us some money. But
that's probably true.
You know, with the team he had, he got what he wanted out of Francisco Lindor. He had a better year. Brandon Nimmo, you know, popped off. Starling Marte was fantastic for them. He got the most out of his players. And especially when DeGrom came back, like, and that's why he got it. He was a fantastic head coach this year, and I continue to see this Mets team making more moves this offseason to better themselves next year. So he's gonna have more to deal with next year, and hopefully get him, you know, past the wild card round. But let's jump over to American League. So you guys already know my take on it. I do think that Scott Service should have won. This is 21 years now that they haven't made the postseason, and then they finally made the postseason, and you know, it just goes to show he brought in a lot of guys in key moments with pitch hitting, blah 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 blah, this and that. I mean, my biggest one is when Kyle Raleigh sealed the deal and got him to the playoffs. You know, so. I feel like he got snubbed on it. Terry, don't get me wrong, Terry Francona is a fantastic head coach. He has been very good at developing players. You're muted.
No, I'm not. I have my number. Don't worry. Oh. I'm preparing for this other argument.
Oh, that's fine. Whatever. Oh, sorry. But I do think Scott Service should have won. I mean, it's tough. It was tough because I felt like there were a numerous amount of American League coaches that were fitting for the award. But I think, hey, getting your team to the playoffs after 21 years or 20 years, that's a big feat.
Yeah, but what were the Mariners expected to win this year?
About
90, right?
No.
Ever take two?
No, they were like 15 or like 10 games under. That was their preseason prediction, and I guessed 90. And I hit it right on the dot.
Okay, so take a team that was supposed to win 62.5. That was their futures number.
Oh, I know where you're going. It's the Orioles, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. They were supposed to win 62.5. That was their line from MGM at the beginning of the season. That man led the Orioles to 83 wins.
Yeah.
And almost
made the playoffs.
Stole that playoff spot from Tampa.
Yeah.
With a team of rookies, they traded away Trey Mancini. They didn't have their ace.
They traded away George, or their closer, too. To Minnesota. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Their all-star closer. Traded away their beloved veteran in Trey Mancini. They gave away their closer for almost nothing. Adley missed the first month of the year, or 2 months.
Yep. And then,
Still
not to mention, you didn't have John Means at all this year.
That's what I'm saying. And their ace did not play.
Right. And so
I think Brandon Hyde deserved it.
I mean, there's probably going to be next year because you're going to have Grayson Rodriguez up there. You're going to have your core set. You're probably going to make some moves in free agency as well to help with these young guys and help them get developed. I do think that Gunnar is going to be phenomenal for them.
Second base.
Yeah, I agree. And then Adley will probably be in MVP talks this year.
I'll give them another year. But I also said look out for the Orioles in 3, and they showed up this year. So,
Yeah.
but I think
I was saying the Orioles are going to turn it around way sooner than you thought they were.
I said 3 years. I was being optimistic.
That's fair because with rookies like that, and you don't know how far out Grayson is, and you didn't know how far out Gunnar was coming into the year. I didn't think they were gonna go to Gunnar, but they wanted to make a difference, and Jorge Mateo, he played very well for them this year as well.
Well, I think if he doesn't play the way he did, Gunnar gets called up sooner. But
right,
kept just doing enough just to not get Gunnar called up.
I agree. But I agree that Orioles team performed way better than expected. Mm-hmm. About almost 20 games above what they were projected to be.
I had them losing 105 games.
Yeah.
So I had them at 55 wins.
I mean, I feel like both of our arguments are fair and valid. And the one that I would say would give service the notch was getting this team to the playoffs. And that's what the ultimate goal is. Yeah, we didn't lead the division, but we sure as shit got in the playoffs this year. And, I mean, again, it's nothing taken away from Terry Francona at all. What are your thoughts? He is a great head coach. I mean, yeah, he's fantastic.
But the Guardians were, supposed to be up there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a weak division.
I don't see how he gets 17 votes.
It's a weak division, and that's the part that kind of irks me about it, right? Is that AL Central is just weak because, you had the White Sox fall off hard. I'm blanking.
They got LaRusse out.
I am blanking.
Minnesota just crumbled.
Yeah, Minnesota fell apart. Byron Buxton got hurt again. I'm pretty sure.
He couldn't stay off the IL.
And then just it's not a tough division to win. It never will be. It never will be.
So bad.
Yeah, it never will be.
Mm-mm.
I think it will be an easy division for all of time. And because you have the West Coast teams that can all be really good, and then you have the East Coast teams that can all be really, really good. I mean, that was shown this year.
Up the middle of the country.
At one point in the season, every single team in the AL East was in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, just the AL Central, weak division. Same as the NL Central. It's a weak division. Why do you think the Cardinals win it every year?
Oh, because Christian Yelich forgot how to play baseball.
That's true.
And the Cubs crumbled after they gave away their core. The Pirates haven't been good since McCutchen in, 12, 13.
Yeah.
The Reds.
I don't know.
They're 1 piece away from winning the World Series, in my opinion, but their owner gave up.
That's true.
So.
Let's go to... Yeah, okay, these are different awards. Cool. Let's do the Roberto Clemente Award. Justin Turner won it this year.
For what?
Because
isn't that doing something within the community, right?
Yeah, so in recognition of years of humanitarian work, including the establishment of his own foundation and a continuing determination to help children battling deadly illnesses. Veteran Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner was named the winner of the annual Roberto Clemente Award. The honor is bestowed annually to a player who best represents the game of baseball through extraordinary character, community involvement, I don't know how to say that word, and positive contributions, both on and off the field. So
yeah, take the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
Right. So he just really does a lot outside of the game, and
that's good.
There's a lot of children illnesses that doctors cannot understand for some reason. And so, his efforts and values, all the time and effort he puts into that, got him the award. So
good for him. That's why I asked what what did he do? Because I know they had to do something, but I just didn't know what he did.
So we'll tip our
I
cap
knew it was
to
always
that.
gonna be
Um, so next would be the Hank Aaron Awards. Little preview of the next of some of the awards later, but Paul Goldschmidt with the National League and Aaron Judge in the American League.
good. Man, am I shocked.
So we'll go more into these guys here in a moment, but next let's go to Cy Young. So National League, Sandy Alcantara, by far out of any pitcher in the National League, had one of the most phenomenal years in all I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Man pitched 228 in 2/3 innings this year, throwing 6 complete games for a team that sucked. Sandy Alcantara completely dominated when he was on the mound, and it was scary.
Yeah, he finished 4th in strikeouts, 2nd in ERA at 228. Like, to have 228 innings pitched and have only a 228 ERA, like, that is, you're not giving up a lot of runs.
Right.
I do wish he finished higher in strikeouts if I'm nitpicking him for the sheer fact that he did have 228 innings pitched.
Yeah. It's a lot of innings.
Really,
like the thing that irritates me the most, right, is the dude's only 27 years old. He's a year younger than I am.
Bad bounce.
Right. I mean, it could have been me. Not really, because I don't throw gas.
Well, it still could have been you.
Bro, I'm Jamie Moyer, but slower.
Ouchie.
Exactly. But that's a lot of innings to throw on an arm. That is overworking your elbow.
And he skipped his last start.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this dude, most likely, knock on wood, will see Tommy John in the future. If they keep throwing him like that.
Well, I don't know what his breakdown was of his pitches either, like how many fastballs he was throwing compared to off speed.
Right.
That goes into it too, but most likely something bad's gonna happen. But that's just every baseball. It's like an ACL in football, so
True.
Everyone pops at one point.
So let's go to the other side where I again ate my own words. I already apologized.
No, I think you should do it again.
I publicly did it. All right. Justin Verlander came out and said, "Hey Kane, fuck you for saying what version of me you're gonna get. You're gonna get." And as I said earlier, when I made the prediction, are you gonna get Cy Young, Justin Verlander, or washed Verlander? And you got Cy Young.
You were leaning towards washed.
Well, when you miss a year due to injury, and you're that old.
But it's Justin Verlander.
I understand that it's like football terms of Tom Brady, but he won, and you got Cy Young Verlander here, so and
he opted out.
I am sorry.
Sad.
All right.
Have you seen where he's been linked to?
I have seen the Yankees, or no, that was no, he did talk to the Yankees.
No.
So did DeGrom.
Yeah, but the Dodgers also called them.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to. If I have to see seeing him in an Astros not Tiger uniform hurt me enough. Having to see my child, I still have him on the wall right over there. He's still on my wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a Tigers jersey. If I have to see him in a Dodgers uniform or a pinstriped Yankees jersey, I might just cry. Real tears. A grown man crying real tears.
Can you get it on recording so I can actually believe it?
No, because you can take my word for it. But he had a phenomenal season.
Go ahead. Read him off. This is your boy.
What, the stats?
Yeah, he pitched. He had under a 2 ERA as far as I was last aware.
His whip was .83, 175 innings, 185 strikeouts to 29 walks.
Yeah. What was the ERA on the year?
Oh, God, where is it? 1.75.
Yeah. Under 2.
Just don't ask what he did in the postseason because nobody has to care about that.
Yeah, he's abysmal in the postseason. But
Hey, he won Game 6. That's all I care about. Or no, he didn't. No, he won Game 5.
yeah, yeah.
My bad. I forgot they won at Philly.
But so deserving, absolute masterclass. And the funny thing is this Cy Young at 37, 38 years old was better than his when he got on the Tigers.
That's true. I do want to throw a nice shout out to Dylan Cease, who I think had a phenomenal year as well,
Yes,
and Alec Manoah. They both deserve some recognition, in my opinion. Especially
I
Dylan
agree.
Cease.
Dylan Cease
That
pitched his heart off.
I mean, basically same amount of innings, 184, 227 strikeouts to 78 walks. That was a lot higher, 50 higher, but who cares? It's still way lower than your strikeout.
What was his ERA?
220 with a 1.11 WHIP.
That's really good.
50.
It was right there, but people are gonna vote for Verlander because Verlander's the name.
Well, Verlander was also like 20-4. Cease was 14-8.
Yeah, it's
That
based on
didn't
your
help.
team, and that just shows that how good the Astros were.
Yeah.
Especially when
Verlander
Verlander's on the mound. When your ace is on the mound, you tend to play better.
He was 18-4. My fault.
Yeah,
That's
but
close. That's 20.
so now, let's jump into the last awards, the big awards. The no-brainer awards. National League MVP, because Paul Goldschmidt, and my God, did he have himself a phenomenal year. Absolute legend. That man has been so good at hitting his entire career. And he put on a show this year down there in St. Louis.
Down there. In the
Yeah.
middle of the country.
Well, I'm at
He
the
hit
top.
317. He hit 317. I was trying to make a funny joke to Toronto, but I couldn't. He hit 317. I mean, 35 home runs, 115 RBIs.
I mean,
When you got Nolan Arenado protecting you, I mean, it's really easy to get pitches to hit. He had that streak of 30-some games getting on base, whether it was a walk or just on base in general.
He's like the other guy and almost got a triple crown as well. He flirted with it, but, he didn't get it, but damn was he close.
Yeah, the average was 226, so 317's right. He came in third.
Yeah. But yeah, just it went to show like his stick being there with how good St. Louis was.
Yeah, he helped them.
Like
I said,
sure.
with Nolan batting behind him, I mean, you're gonna get pitches to hit.
Yep.
That's why Judge, I think, had such a good year. That's why Machado had such a good year. I guess not really for Machado. He kind of did it himself until he got Soto,
Yeah.
and then he kind of struggled till the postseason.
But no, Paul did everything he could for that team, and he's gonna continue to do it year in, year out, because this Cardinals team ain't going anywhere. They at least got the next 6 years, 7 years of being
they still have some farm system too.
They sure do. So
hopefully they turn out. But
over to the MVP of the league, the entire league. Like, yeah, cool. Paul Goldschmidt won MVP in the National League, but Aaron Judge was the MVP of the entire league. He broke the American League home run record.
that
He
ball
also
for $3 million.
He also led all of majors in RBIs.
Tied with Alonso, 131.
And majors in RBIs, OPS, OPS plus, and almost 400 total bases.
Well, I mean, hitting 62 home runs is
It's a lot.
52 times 4, 248 right there. Quick math. I'm really good at math. Just believe that. I didn't use a calculator at all.
Oh, I thought you were looking at your phone just like shit. But
No, I just wasn't using a calculator, you know?
But Aaron Judge had one of the best seasons of this era of baseball.
Without him, the Yankees don't win 98 games.
They aren't first place, probably,
No.
in the
No,
division.
when Stanton was hurt and they went 8-14 or whatever it was, 8-17 in August, that's what the team probably would have looked like in July, in June, in April, in May, in September. They would have been a bad team
Right.
without Judge carrying them to where they got to. Yes, they
Literally
beat Cleveland in the playoffs.
carrying
them. Really?
Yeah, they beat Cleveland in the playoffs. That went to a game 3 or a game 4 or 5.
5.
Yeah, 5-game set. Like,
Yeah, because Cleveland beat Tampa in the 3-game set.
oh yeah. And then Cleveland took the first game.
Yeah, they took game 1 and 3.
Yeah.
And forced the Yankees to win on the road in Cleveland and then back home in New York the next day.
Okay, yeah. And you know what? Aaron Judge, fantastic regular season. Words couldn't fathom how well he did. And I hate seeing it because he's the Yankee, but at the same time, you can't deny talent.
Oh, when I put fun coupons on it, I was a Yankee fan.
Oh, I'm sure you were.
I knew they were done playing Tampa, and I didn't care anymore.
But the one thing is, I get it's a contract year. He just proved his worth. He's never going to hit 62 again.
I wouldn't go that far.
If
you were to leave and go into a different hitter's park, and they have the same scenario where you have a hitter behind him who can also crush the ball.
Right, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, right, that I saw. He burned himself out for the playoffs.
That is true. He couldn't hit the ball to save his life in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Or Houston. But like I said, same thing with Houston. The pitching staff is incredible.
And you know what?
I always go back to it. They hit the Phillies in the World Series.
I know that, and I get it. But when you're a hitter of Aaron Judge's caliber, it doesn't matter how well you can pitch, because you just showed that you hit 62 nukes. Like, you prove that you can do it, but you burned yourself out so much that you couldn't hit anymore. He had 1 or 2.
Yeah, one was like a double.
Yeah, I mean, he hit 1 home run all postseason.
That's what it was. It wasn't a double. It was just a home run.
Yeah, he hit 1 home run in the postseason, and that's not what you want from your MVP.
Well, the problem was he was also striking out.
Yeah, and that's...
It was like Altuve.
And it's and 2 of the better on-base guys just fell apart in the playoffs. So, but that's why I don't think he'll hit 62 again. I think
If he does it by accident. I don't think he'll try for it.
No. And I think he was trying to hit as many as he could this year because, hey, it's contract year. It's contract year.
Hey, man, when that contract has a 3 in the dollar amount and it's nine-digit contract and it's got a 3 in the front, I mean, I'd hit 62 as well.
Yeah. I mean, hey, he's gonna earn every single penny. And you know what? Yeah. He earned every single bit of it, because 62 is no feat. And you know what? There was a lot of people that were saying at the pace he was going in the first half of the season, there were people saying he's gonna break the home run record. And I was like, which home run record? Oh, Roger Maris? And I was like, no, Barry Bonds. Because Barry Bonds, I don't care. I know. Trust me. I know the argument, but 72 is still the title.
That's true.
I don't care.
He's taken off. Hey, I know, I'm with you on that one.
Steroids may give you more power, but it doesn't make you any better to hit the ball. You still have to hit it.
I was going to make a point. If he played like this his whole career, he just never stayed on the field. That was the problem.
Right.
This was the first year he stayed on the field the whole year and did that. I think if he was able to stay on the field his whole career and did, 40, 50 a year,
Mm-hmm.
and then the 62, I think he would be the next person in line to give 700 a crack.
Right.
Just 700, not 762, not 7 foot 55 or 56, whatever Hank had.
Mm-hmm.
I think just strictly 700, because I can't see anybody in the near future even come close to it.
One of the only people that I could see who, for the most part, stays healthy is Pete Alonso. I think Pete Alonso has that much natural power to hit 45 consistently.
Well, I think Mike has the next closest,
So,
given his age.
right.
Mike Trout.
Right.
He's also got to, stay on the field.
It's true.
He still hit, 29, 30 with missing 70 games?
He hit a lot.
He would have had 40 plus if he had played all 70 games.
But I just don't think with today's players, I do not think anybody comes close to Barry Bonds' record. The only person...
How good pitching is.
Right.
Didn't need the ball from 20 to come back for 20 years.
I mean, if you can... people are giving Jordan the Barry Bonds treatment because I feel like Jordan is the closest player to Barry Bonds hitting-wise we will ever see.
In modern day, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I say modern day, post 2010.
I do think Jordan Alvarez is as feared of hitter as Barry Bonds is. So that would be the only person.
Ball 400.
Oh, I know.
I saw a funny stat. That ball went farther than what the Texans had in the first half.
Yeah.
Yards wise.
Yeah, I know.
God, they played so bad yesterday. Yesterday.
But I think that wraps up the awards portion. So we're gonna get into
Some of them, not all of them.
Some notable transactions here. So let's
Edwin re-signed for 5 years, $102 million, which I think is crazy.
I mean, let's just say Emmanuel Clase is just as good and is earning 5 years, $20 million.
Yeah.
So
that's insane.
So Edwin signs back with the Mets, $102 million contract for 5 years. G-Man to the Pirates.
It's all right. Last time Tampa traded.
Robert Suarez signed a 5-year, $46 million deal with Padres. Clayton Kershaw returned to the Dodgers. Not shocking. The only other place he's ever had interest in going is Texas. So it was either Texas or it was LA.
Yeah.
Montero. Rafael Montero, wild signing.
Bad.
3 years, $34.5 million for having one good year. Granted, it's the Astros bullpen, and they made Hector Neris into a star this year. So
I understand, but his career ERA is 4.64.
I understand that, but we have to give credit to that pitching coach. He's done well with every single...
You can't really ignore sensitivity nor your gum issues. I would say it's very common for patients to have both. Does it?
He had a fantastic postseason. I get that.
I had an ad playing on my fucking thing.
That's good.
Damn you, ESPN. I got rid of it. Don't worry.
I mean, his ERA has never been below 4, except for 1 year of 22 games.
Right.
Prior to coming to the Astros, which he barely pitched. He pitched 4 games in 21.
Yeah.
So, to take that out, he has 7 with the Mariners. 4, 2, 4, 8, 5, 8, 4.5, 4. That's his career ERA by year.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like the signing either. I'm with you on that one, buddy. I'm with you on that one.
Bringing it back, I get that. But when you fired your general manager, when you don't bring back your general manager and your president of baseball operations, you have the owner doing the contract talking, not the people who you were supposed to pay and didn't want to pay a long time deal for, who just brought you a World Series trophy. But that's,
And what has brought them to the World Series 5 times?
Out of 6 years.
Yeah.
And they came within 3 outs for making it 6 in a row.
Yeah.
Because they took Tampa to Game 7 in 2020. And they should have won that game, in my personal opinion. Thankfully, they didn't. And they have a pennant to celebrate. But you know what? We're going to leave that one alone. He's taken the blunt of the cheating scandal. That's the guy they brought in after they fired the other guy. I don't even remember his name. That's how much I cared about him.
Yeah.
When they got caught cheating, that GM came in. Jim Crane signed James Click. And that's the guy who took all the shit from getting that.
I am sure he's getting calls left and right from every single team except the Mariners.
I bet you if Detroit had waited, they probably would have went for him and paid the bag for him, just like they did AJ Hinch.
I agree. But Martin Perez accepting his qualifying, Jock going back to the Giants. Tyler Anderson turned down the Dodgers to go play with Michael Trout.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, we all want to see Mike Trout get a ring one time, right?
Of course.
But they're making moves to better that team. They need it. Anthony Rizzo returns to New York, which is good for him. Really good for him. Best part.
I knew he wasn't leaving.
Yeah, I don't think he would have. No, he'll retire. He will retire a Yankee, and he loves playing.
It was either that or Houston, and he was not going to Houston. It was either New York, Houston, and it wasn't number 2.
Yeah.
There was a nice promotion. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
The Miami Marlins.
Yeah. They
first full day-to-day operations are going to be ran by women, which is incredible.
That is true.
Shout out to Caroline O'Connor. That's her name.
Yeah.
Who got promoted. Obviously, we saw Kim get the GM spot years ago. A couple years ago, but Caroline got promoted to president of baseball operations, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is awesome. The Mariners Jerry pulled off some Jerry DiPoto magic. He pulled left and right out of his hat and pulled off an amazing trade for Teoscar Hernandez, the dude that hit 2 home runs against the Mariners in the playoffs. Decided to bring him on board for this wild ride us Mariners fans are in for. Didn't give up a whole lot.
They didn't give up anything.
They gave up Eric Swanson, who has one good year, and number 8 prospect in the system.
They gave up nothing.
Yeah. Mariners also traded away Kyle Lewis for Cooper Hummel. Cooper Hummel's probably not going to see the field very much. Yeah. Limited sample size. He's kind of a you can play everywhere kind of guy, which is what the Mariners are really liking these days. That's not. Yankees brought back IKF. Super weird.
Don't know why.
Gio Urshela got traded to the Angels.
Maybe he might do good in LA.
Not a bad bat. He wasn't bad with the Yankees. He wasn't bad with the Twins, and he wasn't. He's just not bad.
But he's not good. That's the problem.
He's not good. But you got to bring someone in to take the place of Anthony Rendon,
or throw him at second base.
That's
for
true.
David Fletcher, because he forgot how to play baseball.
That is true. And then kind of the last big news that's happened is the Dodgers decided to part ways with Cody Bellinger. I do not see him going back.
Wow.
You know,
There's been a handful of teams linked to him, though, which is kind of cool to see.
I think Cody Bellinger is going to see, a new stadium and just be like, all right, I can hit tanks again.
You know who his replacement talks are good? Who they were talking about his replacement is?
Who's that?
Kevin Kiermaier.
Oh. And watch, Kevin Kiermaier just turned into one of the best hitters.
Odd loseful, but I don't get it. Kevin is a phenomenal defender, but he will strike out just as much as Cody did in the last 3 years.
Yeah. Cody hasn't been the same since that back injury.
I still think it's that turf in Texas, I'm telling you. It's that turf that he played on for 3 straight weeks. And you see all this stuff in the NFL talking about all fields should be grass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in Arlington, it is turf. And they played on that in the BS, CS, and World Series. And that's where he hurt his back.
Yep. And
just hasn't recovered.
No,
but I do think a new team would help him tremendously.
I agree. I think the same thing with Christian Yelich.
Yeah.
Because
I don't see why that wouldn't work either.
Yelich had 2 good years.
No, he didn't. He had more than that. Look at his Miami stats. They were a lot better than you think. He just played for Miami. That team was actually really good because JT Realmuto was also that catcher for that team.
They traded away a lot of good players.
A lot.
But yeah, I think Cody's gonna bounce back next year. It's gonna be a little learning curve for him playing for a new team, but I do think he's back to like the 30 home runs because he can hit 40.
Yeah, I just think he's gonna hit the ball more.
I agree. There's a lot of pressure being on the Dodgers, who were, always under the world's eye, especially during baseball season.
If you go to a team, hear me out, like Houston, with a good hitting coach, and you throw him in center field,
he just kind of fades away because every other person gets, it's Jordan, it's this person, it's that person.
You throw Cody in left field or center field, right? And you bat him like, I don't know, 6th. Because it would go Altuve, Pena, Jordan, Bregman, right? And then
Tucker.
Hell, even throw Cody behind Bregman. Oh, that would be 6th. LOL.
Yeah.
It'd be 5th. That'd be 5th.
You have Kyle Tucker still.
Yeah, Kyle Tucker, and then you bring back Gurriel, right? Say you bring him back. I don't think they are, but say you do.
I mean, you have Trey Mancini there.
You could even slot Cody in first base.
Yeah, you could. But you
really
also have
focus Jordan to play left field. Crawford boxes can't be that hard to play. I'm sorry. It's outside of Houston. That could be a problem. But you slot Cody at first base for Gurriel not being there anymore.
Or you just make Jordan the permanent DH.
You could do that too, but I feel like you could utilize somebody like Trey a little bit more at DH because he looked lost at first base, but get made play.
I mean, they are hurting defensively out there because they're running Chas McCormick or somebody else when they had Jose Siri, who is fantastic.
I'll gladly take him.
Yeah, like that trade made no sense to me.
Made so much sense to me.
Jose Siri is just phenomenal.
That's from a Tampa perspective, because I knew Kevin Kiermaier was not coming back.
Yeah, right. But Jose Siri was fantastic for that team. Didn't matter. He stole a lot of bases. And was fast.
Hmm?
So
his hitting was just inconsistent.
Yeah.
But Tampa. So
that's true. Also, one last thing to kind of throw in there. I don't know if you saw it, but there is now the first ever woman
for Brown, yeah, I saw that.
to make an NCAA roster.
D1, gotta add that in.
D1 roster.
It makes an importance. Now, it's not a big school, but man, is that gonna blow up their program. because there's so much coverage on it. It's incredible. Yeah, good for. I don't know anything about her, to be honest. I know her name's Olivia.
Yeah,
it starts with an O.
I just saw it
She's
pop up on my
left-handed.
phone earlier, and I was like,
Left-handed. But I don't care if it's Brown, if it's what's another really tiny small D1 school, Coastal Carolina, Youngstown State. I don't care. Pick a small D1 school. I don't care. It's still an incredible feat that she made the baseball team, not the softball team.
yeah,
And I saw some pictures of her from like growing up, and she played for the USA prospect team.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
Do I ever think something like that's possible at a major powerhouse school? Of course, it's always a possibility. But do I think it's actually going to happen? Fortunately, probably not. She would have to be absolutely like
Perfect.
yeah, and she couldn't mess up one time. That's the sad truth. But I hope the best for her at Brown, because obviously Brown's a huge school. It's an Ivy League school.
Right.
All those schools are, known for their academics, not their athletics. But like I said, D1 is the importance of that statement where it's a big step.
Yeah, I mean, D1 is where talent goes.
Yeah, and if she can compete with them, more power to her.
Yeah.
Like what was it Monet Davis from the Little League World Series?
Yeah.
From a couple years ago. I guess it's more than a couple years ago, but yeah, like she was striking all the guys out. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares if it's a guy or girl? If she can throw as fast as, the guys on that team, let her play. Who cares?
Exactly.
At least I don't care.
But I just figured we'd throw that in there too.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But I don't think there's anything else to talk about. We still have the midst of the off season. It's gonna be long. We have till what, March?
So the winter meetings are in 2 weeks. Basically, I guess we'll cover as Trey Turner and Correa and all them pick. We can make videos on that. But the next big dates, the 5th through the 8th, where it's the winter meetings, I feel like a lot of trades will happen there. So we might see a lot of moving parts.
But keep on the lookout, because we're coming with a average GMs episode here probably
Monday.
soon.
Monday. Next week, Monday, I don't have my calendar.
No, it's fine.
The 28th.
Perfect. That works for me.
Monday the 28th, it'll premiere at 3 o'clock.
Oh.
Eastern Standard. East
All right.
Coast time.
Well, on that note, guys, I think that is going to do it for us today. If you're watching over on YouTube, go ahead, leave a like on the video. Comment question of the day: what's been your guys' favorite move so far in this offseason? And tell us what you think Aaron Judge will go in the offseason after his historic, contract year.
Coupons are back in the Bronx.
Yeah, baby. If you're listening over on Spotify, go ahead and give us a review. Tell us how we're doing. Let us know. We really want to make this better for all you guys. And with your suggestions, that can help. Also, hit us up on Twitter at Killing Kane and Realdaygaming 1. Got it. And at the Kane and Day Show, where you can talk to us. It'll be great.
Or HR.
Yeah, HR. Anyway, guys, I'm Kane, and this is Day, and we'll talk to you guys later.